of your lies.
Welcome, hello friends, welcome everyone and bienvenue to a new episode of Explore France Live. And today, this is really exciting. I know we've been sharing a lot about wine, but what I want to say is this is a part of a special series that's called Visit French Wine. And in this series, we're taking you to the 17 regions of France. And today, we're taking you to the Atlantic Loire Valley. I am your host, Tiana, and welcome, and thank you all for joining us today. This is a really great time, as you know, we're in the holidays spirit. I hope you're getting ready for spending time with your family, your loved ones, and together today. So let me know where you tuning in today. I really love this part where we get to see. Bonjour, Sheila. Oh, I see we have some very good friends. Hello, Andrew. Oh, you're tuning in from Nice. This is wonderful. Hello, bonjour, Cynthia from Massachusetts. Oh, hi, Isadora. This is adorable. Thank you so much, both of you, for tuning in. Hello, Ariette. Oh, Pennsylvania. Thank you again for tuning in. Hi, Steve. Hello, bonjour. Oh, this is fantastic. Long Island. Bonjour, Bob. Bonjour. So great. Oh, wow. California. Hello, Mary. Thank you for tuning in so early. I think, you know, it's 7 a.m. I love it. Bonjour, Janine, New Jersey. This is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us today. And I love that we have some very good friends and a lot of new friends. If you're joining us for the first time, so this is a series we've started about over 2 years ago. So if you want to watch the previous episode, it's available on our page, France.fr. Don't hesitate to sign up and turn on the notification, like the videos, share, give us a review if you like it, and share the love. Yes, thank you all for being with us today. And without further ado, let me just introduce our episode today. So we are going to discover this part of the Loire Valley that is from Saumur. So for those who know the wine region, this part of the Loire Valley, the Atlantic Loire Valley, goes from Saumur to the Atlantic Ocean. So this is also called the other Chateaux regions. So we will admire beautiful wine estates today. And today, our co-host Virginie Priou from the Atlantic Loire Valley Tourism Board will introduce her three ambassadors, Madame de Pontbriand, who is a winemaker and a chenin passionate, Marquis de Brissac, who will tell us about the history of his family, living in this beautiful castle in the Loire Valley. And we will also meet with a British restaurateur and chef who settled in this beautiful region. So without further ado, let me welcome our co-host today. Bonjour, Virginie.
Hi, Tiana. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you for being with us. We're so excited to always present, new destination, new ideas, new inspiration for our friends to visit and discover. So tell us, what are you, where are you taking us today? Tell us everything about the Atlantic Loire Valley.
Yeah, as you told, we're the Atlantic Loire Valley is the western part of the Loire Valley. We usually say that our closest neighbors are Americans because we're on the seaside, on the Atlantic coast, and a bit further east to the Loire. So we're neighbors. I will give you a few insights on our destination, what's here to see. Maybe we'll start with a short map, So this is a wonderful landscape. The map, maybe the first map, Naomi, with where we locate. Yeah, exactly. In this presentation, the second slide, exactly. So here we go. You see, we are west of France, at the crossroads of the major French tourist routes. As you can see, in the east, you can see the main Chateaux de la Loire, Chambord, Chenonceau, etc. And in the north, the Mont Saint-Michel and the Normandy. And it's just Nantes, the capital city of the region. It's just 2 hours away from Paris by high-speed train, so very accessible. Also accessible to all major cities in France by high-speed train. And we also have an international airport in Nantes, so very easy to get to and discover. If we go further into the assets of the region, of course, the River Loire, you have heard of it. It's a major, one of the major rivers in France. It has defined the landscapes, the culture, the heritage of this part of France. And if we move forward, we will focus on the chateaux. I have here a few examples of the chateaux. The Loire Valley was the valley of the kings. You probably know they built their homes along this river, called also this part of France was called the Garden. In Atlantic Loire Valley, we are more the region of the smaller castles, usually in private ownership. You can stay in there, you can visit them, of course. Here, this is the Château de Montsoreau, which was built directly in the bed of the Loire. And I have a few others, which you can see now on the further pictures. Here, it's Saumur, with the chateau on the hill overlooking the Loire. The next one is Château de Brézé, with an underground fortress because it was built or dug in the typical tufa stone of the area. This stone was served for the building of abbeys and churches and chateaux in the course of the history. Then you have another one called the Château du Plessis-Bourré, with a moats full of water and a drawbridge, and it's a perfect setting for movies, and many movies were shot there actually. And we also have abbeys, like the Abbey of Fontevraud here, the Royal Abbey of Fontevraud, which is 1,000 years old, and which now hosts not only this site to be visited, but also a hotel, a very nice design hotel, and a museum of modern art. Right, so the Loire Valley is not only, of course, chateaux, it's also wines. It's the third largest vineyard in France, with a great diversity of wines, rosés, whites, sweet or dry, and reds, but also sparkling wines from the Saumur area, for example. And we have created lots of wine routes for you to discover the area, to discover the wines, but also the heritage sites and the villages and the cities, etc. And many estates have opened up to show their for the winemakers to show their passion, to explain how they work. And of course, tasting is very important. Here, tasting on the banks of the Loire. Here, tasting on a river cruise on the Loire in Montsoreau. You have vintage vans which can bring you around the vineyards, or motorcycle, vintage motorcycles in some other wine estates, and of course the Loire by bike, which goes through the vineyards. It's the oldest and the best equipped cycling itinerary in France. It's 900 kilometers, so around 600 miles, and of course it goes through the vineyards, but also through the chateaux and little villages, etc. That's part of what I wanted to tell you. I'll just give you a few words and show you a few pictures of our cities, which are also very important if you come over to see us. Nantes is the capital city of the region. It's meant to be very creative, arty, dynamic. If you go further, the mascot of Nantes is the elephant, the great elephant. It comes from the universe of Jules Verne, who was born in Nantes, actually, and Leonardo da Vinci. And it has really become the mascot of the city. But the city also has a very rich heritage here. The Opera House. We have a great Passage Pommeret here next. Yeah, next picture. Second town I wanted to mention is Anjou. It's further east. From when you follow the Loire River, further east, very green, cyclable. It's at the heart of the Garden of France. Here you eat the best fruits and vegetables in France. It has a magnificent old castle in the center of the city, which hosts the Tapestry of the Apocalypse, a masterpiece from the Middle Ages. And it's the home of the Cointreau liqueur, which some of you probably know from cocktails, for example. And last but not least is Le Mans. We are very proud to hold in our region one of the most popular sports events in the world, the 24 hours car race of Le Mans. And Le Mans is not just the car racing; it's also a city with a very rich heritage. Here, the Roman walls around the Cité Plantagenet, a very nice city to stay. Well, there would be a lot more to say about the region, particularly on the Atlantic coast, the nice salt which is harvested in the area, and the nice food also. I have not that much time, and I would like to introduce you to our ambassadors next. So maybe we'll discuss more. Maybe Tiana, if you have questions, you just interrupt me or send me a few questions if anybody wants to know something more about the area.
Absolutely. Wow, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Virginie. I just want to share a lot of the sharing actually that our viewers, our friends have been posting. So Laurie has been, she was sharing that she was just there in October and saw the elephant. So this is Les Machines de Lille, right?
It's right, yeah, exactly. The great elephant is at Les Machines, yeah.
Okay, can you tell us just a few words about it? What is it exactly?
Exactly. As I said, Jules Verne, the author, was born in the city. And there is this spirit in the city of Nantes of creation, innovation, thinking of fantasy, etc. And some artists here decided to run a show with great machines and great creator in the city. But it was just for a show. And then, so the city supported them to have a site in which you can see these magnificent creatures. The elephant, it's 12 meter high, 4 tons of wood and metal. And you can go into his belly and have a stroll in the city, on the island in the center of Nantes.
This is wonderful.
It's a very nice experience. I recommend it. Definitely.
Oh, thank you. And I'll share the other comments as we go, but this is wonderful. You know, Alastair is saying he loves Nantes too. Oh, Nicole is planning, Noli is planning a group trip. So Noli, if you want, we will share Virginie's email address in the comments or on the post for this live and help you with that. Yeah,
I would be very happy to help out.
All right, so let's move on to the next part of our live.
Yeah, and we will go over to the map of the vineyards, Naomi, if you like. Yeah, exactly. And we will. So this is the whole Loire Valley vineyards. We will focus now on the Anjou area and go to a little village called Brissac, which has a great chateau. And this is where we will be staying for a few minutes with Monsieur de Brissac, the owner of the chateau. But first, we will show a little video so we know where we are and what we are going to discover. Okay, so I would like to introduce you to Charles-André de Brissac. Are you with us, Charles-André?
If you hear you. Okay.
Thank you for having us in your house, in your home. Can you, in a few words, introduce yourself? Tell us about your family and the castle where you live.
Well, it has been a family house for a very long time. Because actually my son is the 18th generation who's been spending his childhood here, even though he's working for Google now, and I hope once he will come back and take over after me. As I told you, a family place is it's like a house, but it's a very big house, but you found everything you found in a normal house. Bedroom, but big bedrooms, a dining room, but big dining room, drawing room, but a big drawing room. But I think there's a very family atmosphere here because we always have looked after this great house and these beautiful grounds around. And we take this castle as a member of the family. And I hope people who come to visit Brissac or to stay there will feel the warmth of this very particular atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about the Chateaux de la Loire more generally? What do they represent for this region? What do you think they are for this region?
Well, I think, you know, they were built alongside the River Loire, which is very meaningful because, you know, big rivers are symbols of time, are symbols of everlasting history. And I think the landscape that has been drawn by the river has also been completed by human mankind. And they built villages, they built houses, they planted vineyards. So it's like a major vein of the body, the Loire Valley. And I think all those castles, they are overlooking this river, which is fascinating. And either you can be swimming in the Loire, canoeing or cycling alongside, you enjoy the same, once again, very, very blessed landscape and atmosphere.
Great. What about the wine? You have been growing wine for a long time, I think, in the gardens of the chateau. Is that right?
Yeah, because, you know, looking after such a place, you need to drink good wine to boost your immune system and your enthusiasm. So indeed, there was always a vineyard which was attached to the castle, to the estate, such as, you know, also big forest. And yes, the life of the wine is like the wine and like the life of generations. Every generation is different. Every year, the millésime is different. So I think it's something which is full of life, and I think it brings happiness to people who come and visit the house, because the visit ends in the old cellars with a free wine tasting. And people, they deserve it because they've been climbing up all those staircases, which is quite high in Brissac. So it's like a little reward after their visit to be offered this wine tasting.
Great. And I think you also host guests. So people can stay in the chateau for a night or two. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not the main activity, this paying guest activity, but it does exist, and we have one very historical bedroom named La Chambre Mortemart. So it's even though the castle has many rooms, we only open to guests one big and historical bedroom. So this is it. This is the one you've got on screen, and I hope you can feel as a family guest. Being a little bit privileged, because usually there are no other guests apart from some ghost, one ghost and the family and my dog. So you become really part of the family.
Oh, I'm sure the listeners would dream to test like a night as a king or a prince or a princess.
Dream word. Sorry. Okay.
I asked you to share a tip for our followers here. Tell us about your favorite place in the area. And we see the pictures. There's no secret.
One which is shown on screen, and it's the Royal Abbey of Fontevraud, because it's a very peculiar place which puts together very old history, with a special mention to the women who looked after this abbey, l'abbesse de Fontevraud, and it is really so massive and so impressive with the two stones that are used for the construction, le tufa for the walls, and the slates for the roof. It's a combination of what l'Anjou offers at its best, and I feel there is, you know, such a sensibility, and the feeling is deep when you go to Fontevraud. You can't be neutral or cold in front of such a place. Your brain, your heart feels something very strong in Fontevraud, well, which is what I feel.
I confirm it's a marvelous experience to stay, to have a night in the abbey, because they have a hotel and a great restaurant, and to wake up in the morning just on your own in this site. It's a great experience. Thanks for sharing that with us, and thanks for having us. We will go further. Tiana, any questions? Shall we go on?
Yes, so just one, I just love to share the comments because, you know, while I'm listening, I'm seeing, and I know you're presenting, so you don't see all of these wonderful comments.
No.
Here, but you know, here again, Noli, who's adding it to her list, Charles-André, Cinnamon finds the place magnificent, and Mary, who must visit, and the Janine was saying that, you know, your chateau is such a beautiful setting. Okay, and I can go on, but I just wanted to share, you know, how, you know, we're enjoying this. And thank you, Charles-André, thank you, Virginie, for bringing the Atlantic Loire Valley to us. So, all right, let's now meet with your next ambassador.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. We will go to the map again and have a look a few kilometers away from Brissac, not far, west of Anjou. We're heading to Savennières, exactly here, which is just north of, well, just on the banks of the Loire, north of the Loire, just south of Anjou. Again, we will have a look at watch a short video on the Domaine du Clozel, and its owner will be our host just after the video. Thank you. Well, you can now meet, please, Madame de Pontbriand. Hello, who is the winemaker and owner of Domaine du Clozel. Eveline, thanks for having us in your house. Please introduce yourself and tell us about Domaine du Clozel, where you live and work.
Hello, Virginie, and hello, Tiana. Thank you very much for inviting me to be one of the ambassadors. I'm very proud of that. So I am in Savennières, in the Domaine du Clozel, which is producing white wine mainly, which is named Savennières, and the name of the village, which, as you saw, was south of Anjou, not very far from the city, very accessible. And this part of the Loire has been inscribed on the World Heritage List. It's a very beautiful landscape. And my family has owned the house now since the end of the 18th century. The house is called Chateaux, but the name of the company and the wine is Domaine du Clozel. This is a very old wine estate. It dates back from 1495. But my family has been here only since the end of the 18th century. Mm-hmm. So this is my little house. It's not as big as Brissac, but it's big enough.
Great. So, and you're a passionate winemaker, a specialist of chenin. Can you tell us a little more about your wine and the spirit of the estate, what you try to give?
Absolutely. So what is quite unusual is this estate has been owned by women for now 5 generations. And what is also interesting is these women were very dynamic. They all added something, either cultural, like the library, which is a very interesting history library, or the collection of tapestries with the Grand Salon. Or also, my mother improved very much the production tool, and I added my own touch by, first of all, having the entire estate classified as a wildlife refuge for birds. And also, I add, we are now organic producers, and we do experimental farming, like agroforestery. That means having trees in the middle of the vineyard, or eco-pâturage, where you see the sheep that mow the row between the rows, mow the grass. So that's a very natural way of farming vines. We also use a horse now, so that a horse is much lighter than a tractor and doesn't compact the soil. So we experiment all kinds of different things that, in fact, we come back to the way things were farmed a long time ago, but it seems to be much better for nature. Voilà. What is also quite interesting, as you mentioned, Virginie, our main grape is the Chenin Blanc. Mm-hmm. And Chenin Blanc is a very interesting grape because it reflects the place where it grows. Very few grapes can do that. If you drink Sauvignon, you drink Sauvignon. It always tastes like Sauvignon. If you drink Chenin, it's not always the same taste. And in our particular place in Savennières, at Domaine du Closal, it has a very unique taste. You see pictures of the park. This is also part of this is the hills of Savennières. The place has a beautiful landscape with those hills and the park around the chateau. And so the visitor can go through the park and through the hills. And so I don't know.
We will see a few pictures of the wines, I think, bottles, just the next ones. Yes, exactly, so that's the name of so
we have Savennières. As you can see, 3 different Savennières that you can find in the US. You can order from Chambers Street in New York. They would love to ship it all over the territory. So we have the 3 different Savennières from 3 different areas in the vineyard, but it's always with Chenin Blanc. And
yeah, you have been developing new offers of wine tourism. What can visitors expect to discover at the Domaine du Closel? What will you organize for the visits?
Yes. Before I took over this domain, I visited South Africa and California, among other places in the world, and I was very impressed with tourism around wine. So I decided to do that, which was not very frequent in France. So you can come with those wonderful vintage cars, mm-hmm. and you can visit the estate. We have created a booklet, and you have 14 stops over the path, and you can, in each of these steps, you can pick up some information on the landscape and understand better what you are going to drink later. You can also have a guided tour with me. I'm on the picture here. I do a lot of these tours in English, also in French, in German. And every time after you've been either on your own in the hills and in the park, or with me or with somebody, one of our hostesses, you come back into the chateau and have a tasting. So this is the Grand Salon that can be privatized for private tastings. And that's something that you have to make a reservation for that. But you can also just come to that's a meal, for example, in the Grand Salon. You can also just come without any reservation and taste at the shop every day. We are open every day of the year, closed on Sundays in the winter. but you don't probably want to come in the winter.
Very good.
And we have this is the booklet I was talking about with half of the map, where you have numbers that are the places, the spots where you can get information. We also have a wonderful music festival at the end of August, and we have quite a few cultural events. There is the Heritage Day in France in September, and we always have lectures and small exhibits. And there is also National Garden Day early in June. So we always have a theme specifically on the gardens, on the plants. So
it's one of the most dynamic estates in the area, I must say. Everything, there is always something happening there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great.
Well,
I asked you to, like I asked Charles-André, to give us a tip or to share a favorite place, and I think you chose your village, Savennières, which you're very fond of.
Yes, I'm very fond and very proud of my village. And yeah, first of all, there is a restaurant, which is very important because if you want to drink wine, you might want to eat as well. And we have a wonderful chef, which is very unusual for a small village. So the restaurant is called Le Chenin, and I think we had a picture of this is the church, but this is one of the dish that would make Le Chenin. So it's very unique, very refined, very beautiful, and very delicious. And it always pairs with our wines. So that's the restaurant. When you are finished with eating, you can visit a very unique place, which is the former priest house, where you have painted walls. I think we have a picture of that.
Yeah, we have a picture. Maybe not the next one, but the one after.
Okay.
Yeah,
Voilà.
Exactly. This one.
This is one of the walls. You see the amazing colors, and this is from the 18th century, and it's painted, and it's quite beautiful. And during the music festival in August, we give little concerts in that place. So you get a chance to see with candlelight these beautiful walls and have some Baroque music at the same time. So this is quite a fantastic experience. You can also go on the Loire. We have a friend who is a professional fisherman who knows everything about birds and fishes and the history of the Loire. And you can get on that boat, which is his tool. He works with that boat to fish what is left of wild fishes, which is quite delicious. And you can take a tour, a little cruise, with him or his father. They are very, very interesting people. And you get to see the landscape of Savennières from the Loire with its very unique light. So this is quite a wonderful experience. Of course, there is...
We have a full day in Savennières now with all the tips you gave us. I'm sure people will want to come and stay because...
Yeah. And on the boat, you can we take glasses and bottles, of course.
Of course. Wine is everywhere, as everybody knows. Thanks, Eveline.
After that, you need to sleep. And we have a partnership with a lovely little hotel, which is Chateaux de l'Épinay. I think there is also a picture for that.
Yeah, it might be just before the two others. Exactly, yeah, here.
This is quite lovely. It's a family-owned chateau as well, and you can stay there. So, and you need a rest after all you have done with us.
Okay, everything is arranged. Holidays planned, I think.
We're expecting you.
Thanks a lot, Eveline, for joining us. And well, we'll go back to Tiana. Any new comments, Tiana?
Oh, lots of them, and especially from Mary, who's, I think, a fan of Savennières. So she has a couple of questions for Eveline about the soils. What are the soils like in your Savennières vineyards?
Yeah. It's Savennières. It's Savennières, not Sauvignon. The soil is schist. It's a very good question because in Anjou you have two types of soils: schist, which is very acidic black stone, and near Saumur it's limestone white. So in both places you have chenin blanc, but the expressions are very different. So in Savennières it's the schist, like the slates on the roof, and it makes very delicate and elegant wines.
Sounds wonderful. She says she's going to be ordering some of these chenin.
Of course.
Yes.
We're ready to ship.
Yes, they are. And thank you so much for sharing this wonderful itinerary in Savennières. And actually, I think it was Mary who was asking about the name of the restaurant you mentioned in the village.
Le chenin, like the grape.
Oh, fantastic. There you go, Mary. The name is Le Chenin. I'll put it right here. All right. Thank you so much, Madame de Pontbriand. This was such a... you have, Virginie, you have wonderful ambassadors, I think.
Yeah, don't I?
my next trip as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiana.
Thank you, Evelyn. So we're now heading further west, actually. We're back on the map with Naomi. And we go exactly west. We follow the Loire River down to the estuary, and we stop in Nantes. Nantes, as I said, is the capital city of the area. Very creative, very dynamic. And we are here invited in a restaurant, and we'll have a look at a video before we meet the chef and his sommelier. I think I'm ready for dinner now. Hi, Dominic, Aurélien, at the Pickles, the restaurant in Nantes. Hello, both of you.
Hi.
Hello. You hear and see us well?
Hi, Virginie. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so Dominic, you are the chef of this place. Can you hear us as well? Yeah, it's okay?
The connection is not great.
Okay, we'll try. Dominic, you are the chef.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about you, where you come from, and why you settled down in Nantes?
Yeah, with pleasure. I'm English. I've got the French nationality now, but I'm English, born in Newcastle in the northeast of England. My wife is French. I followed her from London to Paris in 2001, so that she could give birth to our first child. And in 2011, we moved to Nantes because we were looking for a city which was easier to live in, closer to the Atlantic coast. And because I was looking to create a restaurant, I wanted to be close to a lot of great organic products and also great wine, whilst being able to escape very easily to either to Brittany or to go down the Atlantic coast. So kind of Nantes seemed to fit a lot of our search criteria. There you go.
Great. Okay. Now to the word to Aurélien, who is the sommelier of this restaurant. Hi, Aurélien. I think you prepared some wine and food pairings for us. Maybe we'll have a look at the pairings you have imagined for us, and you comment them. Is that right? Okay. Naomi,
Yes,
you're on.
okay for me.
Exactly. We'll start with the Muscadet and the Carpaccio scallops.
Yes, so we make some pairings here at Pickles with the wine from the Nantes area. So Muscadet is the most famous wine in Nantes. Actually, we have different Grand Cru in Muscadet. And for example, this one is one of the Grand Cru of Muscadet, which is called Monnière Saint-Fiacre. So it's a Muscadet produced at 30 kilometers from Nantes. And it's a very, very rich and warm Muscadet with some touch of honey flavors. And what is nice too, there is a bitterness at the end. So the bitterness and the iodized flavors are matching really well between us and between them. And so it's for that, for the scallops. So scallops from Saumur, so from Brittany, in Carpaccio. With some radish and daikon cream with dashi bouillon. I thought this wine with some iodized flavor and this bitterness is matching really well, and with a very fleshy and creamy texture to go with Carpaccio, to go with the texture of the scallops. It was a pairing that we did here at Pickles. And it works really well, actually. After we can do a lot of, there is a lot of diversity in the Muscadet area because it's a singular vineyard. It's the closest vineyard to the sea. And it's very unique because it has a lot of diversity of subsoils. So we have as well one of the grape here that we did a lot. It's a long time ago. It's called Folle Blanche, and this is a Folle Blanche made from David Landron. So he's a wine grower, produce wine into a farm, and it's called Marée Basse. So Marée Basse Vintage 2020, and this one is a very salty wine. When you taste this wine, you feel like you have a walk around the sea because you have a lot of seaweed flavors, shell flavors.
Marée Basse is low tide.
Low tide.
Low tide in English.
Yes, low tide, exactly. And as well here in Loire Valley, we have fish from the Loire River, like eel. So we made a pairing with eel. It was eel works in gravlax and just smoked after. And this saltiness with eel matched really well. It was served with carrot puree. And this has a lot of freshness too. So it brings freshness and tension. And both much
works very well.
Works very well. Yeah, exactly.
Great. I think you have two other wines which you wanted to present to us.
Yeah, because there is a lot of diversity of wine in Nantes, around Nantes, and we have as well a grape variety. We have as well a wine made from the grape variety called Malvoisie, which is most known about Pinot Gris. So here it's called Malvoisie, and this one is a Malvoisie from the Les Terres Bleues vineyard. So a singular wine grower, woman wine grower, who made amazing Malvoisie with a lot of flavors like orange blossom flavors, and it has a lot of minerality. Actually, it's round but very mineral and very dry at the end. And this one can match really well with the tuna. It was a smoky tuna served with some fennel, white fennel, and a vinaigrette made with red fruits. And all of those products are very local. The white fennel, the red fruits come from a farm very close to here, and
also the purple potato is the Vitlotte, the Bleu d'Artois. Sorry, the Bleu d'Artois from a local farm as well, 15 minutes away from home.
Looks beautiful too. And what about the last wine you chose for us?
And the last wine, but not the least, it's because we have as well a lot of Gamay here. It's not famous, but we have a lot of Gamay. And for example, here we have an amazing expression of Gamay from Annetz, very close to Ancenis, so at 30 kilometers from here when you go to Angers. And this one is a very rich Gamay with a lot of wide red fruit flavors and a lot of spices too. And that match really well with the pastrami of the chef. It's a very unique. Maybe the chef will speak better about the pastrami than me.
Pastrami, I guess our American audience will know it very well. Beef, which has been left for at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks in a brine, and a wet brine. I always take either from the neck or a piece which has got fat and meat at the same time. It's after the brine, it then gets smoked, slow cooked at 85 degrees for 16 hours, and then it's cooked again for 16 hours, steam cooked. And at the end of all that, you've got a lovely, very crumbly, very flavorsome, because it's been covered in lots of pepper, five different peppers. Really spicy beef, really good stuff. So you need a wine which has got a bit of meat.
And this one is a meaty wine, but with some peppery flavors, very finest peppery flavors, more like white pepper. So both of the flavors are working really well between them. And pastrami, it's very fun. There is some very thin sliced, and with this crispy juice, but meat crispy juice, it's matched really well, and it's an explosion of flavors between those.
I think I'm going to make a reservation right now, just after we're over, because it looks so amazing. Thanks very much for this. Dominic, you mentioned the quality of the produce, of the local produce here.
Yeah.
Could you just mention a few which you particularly like to work off or to work with?
Given that we've, I mean, there's vegetables. I work with 3 different local farmers. One who's in the north, one who's just slightly to the east, but I mean, we're talking 15 minutes away from the restaurant, so it's really central. And then there's another one who's down the south, more in Vendée, who's about an hour and 15 minutes south of Nantes. Otherwise, for the pastrami, the bœuf, the beef, we've got a Jersey beef that's just been delivered whilst we're talking. That comes from the same family as Xavier Hardy, the Terre Bleue that Aurélien was talking about. So a local beef, which is a really a lovely mixture between fat and meat, a lot of flavor, but a lot of tenderness, and obviously organic. So that's something that I use often, particularly for doing pastrami. Fish, we couldn't not talk about the Loire, be it the eel or other freshwater fish that we can get easily from just going up the Erdre river. Otherwise, you've obviously got your scallops. You've got a lot of local fish, which is about an hour. Le Croisic, La Turballe. They're 2 ports that I use daily. So there we go.
Oh, great.
Atlantic Ocean has a lot of influence here in Nantes and in the Nantes area for the wine and for the products, and it's for that we have a lot of product from the ocean too. It's
exactly. We're just 50 kilometers from the ocean, so very close actually. Dominic, you just mentioned the Erdre. I think it's one of your favorite places to go and have a walk. Well, a few pictures just after that. It's
really easy to get. Well, what's great about Nantes is that you can you can get out of Nantes very quickly if you want to have a wee break, or if you want to get in connection with nature. You can do that within quarter of an hour of walking north of Nantes along the river bank of the Erdre, which runs straight into the heart of Nantes. You just walk up the east bank, and within about an hour or so, an hour and a half of walking, you're going to end up in a place, the Chanterie Park, which is well, there's there are lots of places to see along the bank side, and there's a walkway which is being well developed, very clear, easy to follow. So if you just want to follow your nose and look around whilst you're walking, there's nothing easier to do than do that if you want to get out of the city.
Great. And Aurélien, which tip would you give for a stay here? Where would you recommend to go?
I'm a sommelier, so if I have a tip to go, it's Clisson. Clisson, because it's the heart of the Muscadet, and it's a very, very beautiful city, actually, very cute. And it's really the heart of the Muscadet. So if you want to get all the story about the Muscadet and taste all the diversity of the wines that we have here, I think it is the place. You can have some very, you can do bicycling very easily over there too. And yes, it's a really nice place to breathe, to enjoy the nature, and to taste good wines.
Yeah, and there is a flair of an Italian flair in Clisson, actually. Very nice city, exactly. Well, thanks to you two for having us and for sharing your tips. Here is the Chateau de Clisson, the old ruins of the chateau. Very nice. Thanks a lot. I'll call for a reservation just later on. Thanks.
All right, no worries. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Merci. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh, wow. So this was great. I think we all made here our wine list for the holidays, and we all made our menu as well. This was such a great pairing. Thank you, Aurélien. Thank you, Dominic, for sharing these wonderful pairings with us. I think I had a request to put on their names and the restaurants here. I can also add this information to the comments if you'd like. So that was for Patty. So and Aurélien, if you can, could you add the list of the wines? So we've had lots of requests here for the dining the wine list. Noel is asking for the name of the last wine. I need the name of the first wine again. I missed it. But this was fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to lunch now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Our stomachs are saying we're hungry.
Yes. So I think, we all enjoyed this wonderful time with you, Virginie, and your ambassadors. I want to thank you all again for your time, and I think this was for me a wonderful discovery. Of course, we know I know this region, but not in this way, especially through the wines and the food and the heritage. This region has so much heritage. I think it's and it looks so mellow, and the people looks so wonderful. I can't wait to visit myself. So here we have some great comments to end our time together. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. So Sharon, merci. Oh, I'm mixing all of them now. Sorry. Sharon loved this tour. Patty, yes. Oh, I love it when we receive this type of comment. Look, you did a great job, Virginie.
Very nice to hear that people enjoy that.
Favorite as well. Okay. So merci Virginie, and I hope we'll be back together so you can introduce us more of your ambassador and more of the region in the new year.
Yeah, I'll be very happy. Thanks for having us, and thanks to all our ambassadors, which made the job greatly. Thanks to you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Monsieur de Brissac, Madame de Pontbriand. Thank you so much, Dominic and Aurélien. Thank you, Lisa, Virginie. Thank you, Naomi, which I'm sure you've heard her name a lot. She doesn't come on camera, but she's our, she's our video whiz. She's the one doing all the back office, and yeah, she's my favorite.
You ran really, it was great. Thank you for the technique too, and happy holidays to everybody, of course.
Thank you, Virginie. And so tomorrow we will see you all. I know in this Christmas season we want to show you so much about France. So what we're going to do is, meet again tomorrow if you can, 10 a.m. or, you can always play replay the video. So we are going to be at Galerie Lafayette. They are presenting us their Christmas season, which is titled 1, 2, 3 Noël. This is going to be a really fun one. I hope you can join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm doing the announcement now. This next week, Wednesday, December 22nd, I will be in Paris doing a live from Paris myself at the Panthéon, discussing Josephine Baker's induction at the Panthéon with the administrator, and I'm hoping to meet her son as well. So I hope you can join me next Wednesday. Thank you all, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup.